Like that thing that you're trying to build and you're trying to grow, you need to get it to the point where somebody else could run it so you can go focus on the next thing. Because I always tell you guys, when you say something like, I want to become a better version of myself, the better version of you wasn't enough to accomplish the goal that you've been trying to accomplish. So why say I'm going to become a better version of the person who couldn't even get something done? You need to reinvent yourself and change completely. If 50% of your business is going well and the other 50% isn't, then guess what? That 50% that hasn't been working, you don't know what you need to do to fix that because it hasn't been fixed. You need to literally strip yourself down, give the 50% that's working to somebody to run that, but you need to strip yourself down, say, okay, I'm changing everything. I'm going to change who I am because that version of me hasn't been working. You have to become a new version of yourself. You have to change who you are completely, because if your relationships ain't working, where you're trying to go with this relationship isn't working, how you going to become better when that person who don't know how to make that relationship get to where it needs to go, you can't make him figure it out. He's going to become more efficient at being a procrastinator. You can become a more efficient antagonistic person. You can become more efficient in all the things that you're doing wrong. Now I want to give you guys something I want you to think about. Now I'm in the zone of talking about the relationships. We have 3 crucial relationships in our life: sandbox relationships, lunchbox relationships, and an owner's box relationship. Man, that's good. That's good. Sandbox relationships. Those are the people who you grew up with. Those are your childhood friends. Those are the people who help nurture you, help you make decisions, help you do bad things, but then help you do good things, and then help you see where you need to be and what you don't want to do. That's the sandbox. But now I want you to think about how many people from your sandbox relationship you took to the lunchbox relationship. How many people you work with and now they went from the sandbox and they got a job with you? Very few. But you've learned to develop new relationships at the job, your lunchbox relationships. People at the job who can tell you about the 401ks, how much more time you have to retire, who's not to work with, who this, and you actually start doing little events. They have the job barbecues. Some jobs have the baseball, the bowling leagues, all this. Your lunch box relationships. Some people take those lunchbox relationships all the way into retirement, which could be good. Some people take those lunchbox relationships all the way to the point where now you're building families together. Your son, your daughter, you're turning this thing into a big ecosystem. Started from the lunchbox relationships. But for me, I'm going to tell you, my goal has always been owner box relationships. Getting into that owner's box. Those are businesses. Those are CEOs, COOs. COOs, CCO. The shortest initial that you have titled to your name, the more important you are. I want you to think about that. I want y'all to think about district manager of product creation. Oh, you can fire him. I want you to think about liaison to the assistant of the product in the Eastern District. Oh, you can fire them. I want you to think about all these long titles. That's just a placeholder. Your goal should be the PhD, CEO, all of those. Get all those alphabets. That's power, right? So now let's stick to this. Let's stick to this kind of relationship where it's the owner's box. This comes from you becoming an entrepreneur and realizing you want to build relationships with people who are building businesses. Your sandbox relationship, most of the time that will not get you, that won't follow you into trying to have that owner's box relationship. That lunchbox relationship won't get you to the owner's box relationships. These are all seasonal relationships. If you want to become the entrepreneur, the CEO, the person who's building out that business, the person who's creating this thing, you need to understand that those relationships had a time in your life, but this one here that you're developing in these communities and what you're trying to do, those are the ones you should focus on. I always tell people what my mentor told me, actually. When you want to do something, I want you to find the person that's doing it at the highest level and find out what could you do for them. How could you become an asset to them? Even if you send them a message, send them an email, send them something. I sent a message to my first mentor when I was getting into out-of-state real estate, where I asked him a question and he answered the question. But then I realized he wasn't answering my questions after I asked like 3 or 4. You know why? Because I wasn't bringing value. I brought value when I asked him, do you need someone to calculate your deals? Or here's a good state. Have you considered this? Like I started now throwing out things to him where he was going, oh, okay, you working. You really doing the work. See, because people in high places who you want to network with, they can't tell if you're taking their information and you're actually doing the work. You could just be a pest. Owner's box relationships require you to actually go to events that cost you money. Cost you money. Filtering the room. I've learned my lesson going to free events where I'm talking to somebody, I'm networking with them, and I'm, building up this network. And I'm like, yeah, so what do you do? Why are you here? Oh, I didn't have nothing to do, so I just came out. Nah, I gave you 30 minutes, 40 minutes, exchanged numbers and everything, and you just came here to be here. I want you to pay to be in those spaces around people who are paid to be in those other rooms. So now you can network with them. And now if somebody paid $1,000 to be somewhere, they serious. Somebody paid $5,000, they serious. 10, 20, 30, whatever level you want to start working your way up to. But get into that space so you can start getting that information. You can start now, this person would know somebody else. Relationships are the key. The essence of building blocks to anything you want is through the networking, it's through the relationships. People could say a million things about somebody introducing you to somebody else, which is great because that's a form of the networking. But here's what I want you to look at this, right? If somebody introduces you to somebody, I still want you to nurture the relationship with the person who did the introduction. Because the person who did the introduction is going to be your mouthpiece. So the more you work with them, the more you show them you're consistent, the more you show that you can do something, guess what they're going to say to the person they know? Yeah, man, I'm working with Rochelle. She's a killer. She's a beast. She's an assassin. She's like, and now this person is really, but if Rochelle now skipped the line and said, hey, I met you through, and now this person has to figure you out. Now they got to go, yeah, you diligent? What kind of work do you do? What are you bringing to the table? What do you have to offer? But if you stayed working on that relationship there and you partner with that person and now they're the mouthpiece for you, now when they do have an event and now that person says, I'm doing something in the owner's box, I want to invite that person. And now guess who that person's going to invite? Rochelle. And now when she get inside the box, they already know you've been vetted by the person who I invited. That's why it's so crucial to not feel like you're going to skip this line and you're going to work in the space where you're at. And when you outgrow that space, now you can move to the next one. But us doing things together is the most important thing that we can do. I don't want anyone also, I don't want you to look at money dictating the opportunity to build relationships. I don't want you to let money be the catalyst on how strong or how deep a relationship can be. There are people who literally have not a lot of money, but they can pick up a phone call and contact somebody with a whole lot of money. People will confuse how much a person is worth or how much money they have as being a key component to a relationship. And I've learned this. Somebody can have best cars, the biggest house, but guess what? They can't make a call and get to this other person. They actually will call somebody who has less money than them to actually create the contact. Your network, your social media, your emails, your relationships, everybody I would say the top 10. I always go with top 5, right? Top 10, I'll give it some room. Emails, texts, phone calls should dictate where you're trying to go in life, right? And you need to put the people who call you over and over again and talk about everything that has nothing to do with the direction you're going. You need to start figuring out when you're going to stop answering those calls so frequently. Your headspace is prime real estate. It's your real estate. Why are you letting other people inhabit this space that you need in order to go to that next level? This is prime real estate, and you giving everybody access to it. And you trying to figure out why you're confused in your decision making. And haven't this always happened at key times when you're ready to make a crucial decision on either buying something or starting a business or doing this? You end up calling that person who calls you all the time with no business experience, no real estate experience, no nothing experience, and you tell them, I'm thinking about starting a business. How you talking to somebody who ain't never do nothing about what you're trying to do, and then they're going to go, I heard Ray, he tried to get into real estate and he lost all his money. I heard, see, they starting off with, I heard. You need to surround yourself with people who are doing the thing. Like, I refuse to answer certain phone calls. That's just me. Right? I refuse to call people, some people now. I don't want y'all to think, because some of y'all might have my number, he do that to me. It's only, sir, I don't text people right back. I might not call you back for a day or 2 days, because I want you to think about why you call me, and by the time I call you back, that news ain't news no more. Because if you call them right back, text them right back, now guess who they're going to call? Every time something happens, they go, let me hit Sterling. But now if they know Sterling ain't replying right back, Sterling ain't calling right back, now they're going to move on to the next person. See what I mean? And unfortunately, this goes for family, children, grandchildren, too. For real. For real. I understood when I went from full-time employee and how people felt like, oh yeah, you got to work. I ain't want to call you. You got to go to work tomorrow. You got to do this. Oh, so we can't get together, have get-togethers. We can't have functions, because the job was the main reason that they felt like you're too busy. So I understand. But now I developed some more freedom. People looked at it like, well, you're not working no more. How come you're not calling me as much? How come we don't spend time together as much? How come we don't all get together as much? When I freed myself from the trappings of that conversation, they felt like, unfortunately, a lot of people would think you better than them. And I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. You are. And that's not disrespectful. If you don't think you better than somebody or something, then what are you here for? Like, you gotta stop humbling yourself. You gotta stop humbling your goals. You gotta stop saying, I need to hang with this person or be around this person. You gotta stop that. How can you be a beacon of light if you still dimming your light so you can be around other people? If you know you deserve to be here and you want that person, I always say this. When people say, oh man, I'm proud of you. I love what you're doing. I always say, I'm just a reflection of you. I'm just a reflection of you. And you know why I continuously say that? It's to build them, and it also to remind myself the day when they want to call me or want to have me help them do something or want me to meet them and, yo, you ain't doing nothing, can I get on the phone? I'm requiring them to meet me at a certain level. Don't ever let your elevator go back down. You should require somebody's elevator to come up to you. If your elevator has to come down, now you showed them, I bet I got their ear. I got their attention. I got his attention. Now they're going to call you for random stuff that don't even mean nothing. Oh, I just had a quick question I wanted to ask you. Your time should be worth more than a quick question. Y'all hear me? Your time should be worth more than a quick question. I want you now on, when your text message and your phone calls happen, how important is this message, is this phone call? There has to be a payment of your information from somebody else. It don't have to be money. If you feel the information you've obtained and the things you're trying to do has value and wealth, what is the payment they're paying you? Are they paying you in time? Are they paying you in them doing something? Are they paying you? Well, everything has to become transactional, and I hate to put it this way. If I call you and I say, Antonia, I need some information. I need you to, could you help me do this? Like, your brain should automatically go, are they going to use the information? How am I going to make them do some work? That's my thought process. When somebody reaches out to me and I give them that window, I automatically go, are they going to use this information? How am I going to have them do some work? And then I would tell them when they go, oh, yo, here's I was thinking about doing this. I wanted to, refi, or I wanted to do this with a home HELOC, this and that and that and that and that. Then I go, okay, so what's the end game? What's the end? Well, because if I get the money now, I'm considering either buying another property, paying for the kids. But if somebody says to you, I just was thinking about doing it and I wanted your opinion, get the hell out of there. I want you to get it. Well, you know what? I want you tell them, how about you figure out where you're trying to go with this? Because that's going to be crucial with the information I give you. And then you don't answer the call next time. When somebody calls you and then texts you, I want to ask you something, don't call, text and say what you want to ask me in the text. Now you get to see. Only reason I'm harping on this, because you will not be able to get where you're trying to go if you get caught up in somebody else stealing your time. I've made it my business to cut my time down to my wardrobe. I don't want to think about when I go in the closet what I'm going to wear. I got a lot of black sweatpants. I got a lot of Employee Millionaire t-shirts. I got a lot of black t-shirts. I got like, if I need to throw something on, it's because of an event. I want y'all to think about visionaries. I want you to think about people who are in this $1 billion bracket or several hundreds of millions of dollars. How many times we see them have the same clothes, the same shirt, the same jacket, and they don't even be the same. They just have a lot of it. A lot of it. Because they understand, I don't need to be defined by that. I got other things I'm thinking about all the time. I can't go in my closet now trying to figure out what I'm gonna wear. Because when you think about what you're trying to wear, you're trying to impress you, you're trying to impress people that are seeing you. I made it my goal. I'm not focused. Your time, we treat, how can I put this? We treat our wardrobe like we do our goals. We'll go shopping. We'll find something on a rack. Ooh, I'm going to wear this at this next event. Oh, I'm going to wear this at that party. Man, I'm going to wear this. We get the shirt, we get the jacket, we get the slacks. You ladies get the dress. We get it, and we get it. We take it home. I'm wearing this to this party. Time comes for that event to come up. You go, oh, I know exactly what I'm wearing. You go to your closet, pull out that shirt. You pull out that jeans and pants. You ladies, you pull out that dress. You hang it there. You hang it right there so you can look at it. Then you're like, oh, that's it. As soon as it's time to get dressed, you throwing on the shirt. You got the blouse on. You throwing this. Then you look in the mirror and you be like, wait, you know what? This shirt would go better with these other pants I got. Now you grab the other pants. Now you put those pants, you be like, no, these pants always work with that other shirt. Now you grab the shirt. You take off what you went and bought and you said, I will wear this to that next event. You put on something familiar that you know will get the reaction that you're looking for because that other outfit was your reaction. That was your reaction. But now you put on something where you know everybody else always told you it looked good on you. It fits you right. Make Sterling shoulders look hefty, right? So you put that away. How many times we've literally done that with our goals, our dreams, our aspiration? We will take it, put it away, and say, you know what? I'll get to that next time. I'm going to go back over here and focus on this job because it's familiar. The check is good. It's comfortable. I know what it's going to do. I know. And I'm not telling you not to do your job. What I'm telling you is get out of being comfortable. Get out of trying to impress people because you make 80,000. You make 100,000 and you like to have the conversation when people say, do you have a job where you work? Oh yeah, I work for here. What I realized when people would ask me, where do you work? It wasn't just enough for you to have, yeah, I have a job. People ask you, what do you do? And now when people ask you, what do you do? Now they say, oh, you make good money. What about the person who's an entrepreneur? And you ask them, I don't have a job. I work for myself. Why do we look down on the person who works for themselves like they don't make money? You don't have a job? No, I work for myself. We didn't even ask him how much he make. He could make $500,000 a year. All we heard was, I don't have a job. I work for myself. And we think he's a bum. See, you can't explain success to a person who's never understood failure. Man, come on, y'all pick that up. How are you going to explain success to somebody who's never understood failure? I look forward to failing because I know success is right there. I look for. Let me hurry up and get failing out the way. Let me hurry up and get this over with. Yeah, let me hurry up. And I fell 3 or 4 times, but success is going to feel so good. How are you going to have a conversation with people who've been so scared to even to know what failure looked like? You can't explain nothing to them. Somebody who succeeded in something, the story that they're going to give you is the last one on how they got to success. You know how many people I've spoke to when I said, yeah, I'm going to get real estate out of state. And they were like, but you're going to buy some real estate in another state. How you going to go see it? I'm not going to go see it. Somebody else is going to take care of it. Huh? Nah, man. You know how many people looked at me like my head was screwed on backwards? But then in 5 years, I left that job with almost $3 million worth of real estate. And I could have left the job in 3.5 years, but I stayed the additional 1.5 years so I could collect my medical benefits. So I did the 5 because I wanted my medical. All it takes is one sickness, and that's it. You broke. I gave them years. I wanted my medical. Stick them up. Give me my medical. And I left. But even when I walked in there and I wanted to leave, and I told everybody, yeah, I came, I'm signing in my papers. They were like, wait, but you didn't do 35 years yet. You're gonna miss your pension. So I lost 1/3 of my pension, which is a chunk. I lost 1/3. But guess what? I wasn't thinking about that. I'm gonna make that back. I already made that money in real estate. I wanted my time. People, like, they couldn't hear me when I told them, yeah, I got this real estate out of state, and I have real estate worth almost $3 million, and I'm making $18,000, $20,000 a month. They couldn't hear that. All they heard was I was quitting. Like, they couldn't hear nothing else but, you leaving? Huh? They feeds us. They clothes us. They gives us our check on time. Why you wants to leave here? Days ain't do nothing wrong. They pays us on Friday. They lets us get an hour lunch. Why you wants to leave? I ain't finna to go nowhere. So I understood. I couldn't, just some people wouldn't get it. But now when I left, people would reach back to go, let me see if he answers his phone. Let me ask him questions. And I would answer the call for a few people. And I realized they just wanted to see, was I available to them? They wasn't going to do nothing with the information. Yo, I'm thinking about buying. So I'm on the phone. Yeah. Nobody did a damn thing. I can't get that time back. So what I want you to do is remember key things. Your relationships will be the building block to your wealth. Your time will be the catalyst of what helps you decide when it's time to start jumping from one box to the next. I want you to understand, you cannot control time. You are part of time. You will never be able to complete something because you are rushing to get it done in a certain amount of time. It will only be done when time allows it to be done.